Hi, everybody. Jamie Delsoin here again, live at Saratoga here at Skidmore's Giving Day. I'm so happy to be here with two of our co-producers of the National College Comedy Fest, Andrew Ubeline and Keegan Kelly. Thank you both so much for being here with us. I think, can we start and just give me a little bit of history of the ComFest?
Yeah, sure. At this point, this is the 28th National College Comedy Festival. Started almost 30 years ago by David Miner, class of 91 here at Skidmore. Do you want to talk?
Yeah, for 28 years, this has been, this is the largest college comedy festival in the country. There's nothing else that has the scope of this. We've taken groups from all over the country, and it's, for a long time, this has been a staple in the college comedy community. A lot of been stars like Donald Glover came to ComFest, like actors from The Office. Groups have formed in, comedians have met at ComFest and actually gone on to start groups that came back as paid headliners. So this has been, part of the fabric of the comedy community for a very long time.
Exactly, and I think it's worth mentioning that David Miner, the Skidmore alum that started ComFest when he was a student here in 1989. When he started it, was absolutely, obviously he started it from nothing, and he did cold calls to all these college groups around the nation. And it's awesome that he got to work with the JKB Theater here at school to just start this festival from absolutely nothing. And now that we have the internet and stuff, it's actually kind of crazy to think that happened back then, but it just shows what you can accomplish when you just have a goal and a passion, which for him was comedy, and it's that for us now. And it's also worth mentioning, I think, that David Miner, he went on to become a very successful producer, and he has executive producing credits on such shows as 30 Rock and Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Parks and Recreation, pretty much any show that you like, he's probably had a hand in. So
Kimmy Schmidt as well.
Kimmy Schmidt, yeah.
Pretty cool. So how did you both get involved with this?
This was actually, when I was touring Skidmore, this was what, I guess, hooked me in. This is what distinguished it from all the other colleges, because I've been doing comedy for many years, and we both are in Skidomedy. It's a sketch comedy group. Andrew's also in the Ad Libs, our oldest college group on campus. And we've both taken part in it for the past 4 years, everyone we performed in, and we just, as years go by, you just start to take a more serious role in the community in planning, and we just, we took the initiative, and this is a dream come true for me.
Yeah, exactly. Last year, we were the assistant producers of Boko and Hannah. They were the producers last year, the co-producers. And it's sort of like a rite of passage to just pass along the producing responsibility to the year below you. And so that's Sarah Rabinowitz, who's the other co-producer who couldn't be here today. She's the third co-producer with us, and 3 of us were assistant producers last year. So it was, like Keegan said, a dream come true for us to have the producing role this year.
And so can you tell us a little bit more about being co-producers and what does that role entail?
So at the beginning of the year, or a little bit before the summer actually, we discussed what the roles would be. Producers in the past gave us advice that we should split up the roles so it doesn't become confusing who's doing what. My responsibility has been to communicate with the college groups, and that just means I'm like this liaison between the rest of the co-producers and all these groups that are applying. We got like about 50 applicants this year, which is a lot of videos to sift through and a lot of emails to correspond with. So that's been my job. And yeah, at this point we have a group set in that's going to be coming here from other colleges. It's really exciting.
Cool.
And I've been dealing mainly with the JKB Theater staff. All of this happens with their full cooperation. They do so much for the festival. And the technical director, Jared Klein, has he just has a very clear idea of how these kinds of things go. and what kind of rules and regulations we need to make sure that everything runs smoothly. So just dealing with them, dealing with just the staff here at Skidmore, and making sure that we have everything we need to make this run as smoothly as possible, because there's so many moving pieces once you get to the festival and you have 16, 17 groups all coming in from all over the country, that you want to make sure everyone knows what their job is. Yeah, and this really is a group effort on behalf of many, many members of the Skidmore community, staff and student, who are all incredibly helpful.
And I don't think he wants to toot his own horn, but Keegan's actually an economics student, and he's been doing our finances for us, and he's been doing an incredible job. So
Nice.
I think he's a little shy.
Thanks.
So
Yeah.
what would you say is the most challenging part about being the producers?
I don't know what your answer is going to be, but I think the sort of the vicarious heartbreak of the groups that we're having to let know that it's not their year to come, because we're so privileged as people who go to this school that we automatically are invited to ConFest every single year. I mean, we're running it, so obviously we get to go, but we just take it for granted as Skidmore students, which feels a little weird when you consider that we have 50 different groups from as many schools applying to come to this festival, and we have to let the vast majority of those people know that they have to apply next year. So that's for me the hardest part, especially since I'm sending those emails. It's like it doesn't feel good, but yeah, that's what I'd say is the hardest part.
Yeah. Do you have anything different?
For me, I'm going to answer for Sarah because she's not here. Contract negotiations with professional groups.
Sarah has a hard job.
Yeah,
Sarah has a hard job.
She has a very. She's in charge of something that's so. I mean, this is something we've never had to deal with before. It's just on this professional level. But I think I love just seeing it happen, and not having to do the stressful parts of ironing out the details. Although we do have a lot of help from Robin and Adams.
And what would you say is the most rewarding?
I think for my answer would be those moments where we finalize something big, where the work has come together, the hours of poring over applications and watching professional videos, and like Keegan was alluding to, working on contracts and talking with managers. And when finally something's locked in and it's like, okay, this is happening, our weekend is starting to come together. Those moments for me, I'm like, yes, this is, I don't know, it just feels like, it's great to feel like you're doing something big at your school that is going to bring a lot of other people joy, and the hard work paid off.
Great.
Yeah, everything he said, yeah. And I think more of that is to come, because this is really so special. The students get so excited about it. We always have a long line that fills up the entire JKB lobby an hour before the show starts. People wanting to get in, and for out-of-town groups, this is the only time of year they get to be in a community this huge, full of people who all love what they love and are all so good at what they do. It's a magic thing.
I think even school, or even groups that are from really big schools like NYU, their teams come to our festival, and I think they're taken aback because even though they go to a huge school, their turnouts at shows are pretty modest. So when they come to a packed JKB for their show, it's such a great feeling, not only to have such a big audience, but also when about a third of the audience are your peers, in the sense that these are all like-minded college students who are trying to do the same type of art comedy that you're doing. It's just, like Keegan said, a magical thing for college comedians to come to this venue and see a packed crowd, and also to just sort of, it's not a competition, but it kind of feels like a competition because it's collaborative and we do workshops together with other schools, but also when you're performing, you have this sense where it's like, I want to do Skidmore proud, or I'm sure the Yale groups are like, I want to make you look really good right now.
We should also say a big part of it for the performing comedians is we have workshops with professionals from the comedy industry. Sometimes they're performers, sometimes they're just from out of town, So it's great training, pre-professional training for anyone who's looking to do this past Skidmore that you really don't get anywhere else. It's not often that people come down with a willingness to teach and educate in something like comedy, which is far from an academic discipline. So it's very unique in that sense. That we don't have a comedy studies program at Skidmore. I'll say that much.
So what have you guys got coming up? What's scheduled?
So right now we are kind of sitting on some big announcements, but we have a few logistical things we need to get through, some hurdles we need to get over before we can announce sort of the colleges that are coming and joining us for the festival in February next year and the professional acts. So we're not quite ready to announce what the headliners are, but rest assured they are very good and everyone should be excited.
Awesome. And is there any place people can go if they want to learn more?
Yeah, it's www.nationalcollegecomedyfestival.com. It's kind of a mouthful, but yeah, that's where all the information is going to be. And you can also find us on Facebook at the same thing, National College Comedy Festival. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you both so much for joining us. It was great to have you here, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you.